Hey guys, what's up? This is Kangaroo and welcome to this plugin review video. We're gonna be reviewing the plugin ChatControl, which is really comprehensive, all-in-one plugin you'll basically need for to do many small things on a server. So without any further ado, let's get into the game and see how it performs. So I'm gonna join this test server and show you some of the features. The first feature you might notice is this join message. I'll say hi to Kangaroo for joining. This is configurable within the ChatControl. Within the ChatControl file named messages.aml. You might use different conditions to specify different messages in different scenarios. For now, the message is just really simple. It's just I'll say hi to Kangaroo. You know, if you specify more than one message, it's gonna pick up randomly the one message from the list. Another thing is this hello Kangaroo and kindly welcome. This is the message of the day. You can also specify in settings.ml file. There we go. You can use different variables here, for example NMS version, player server 7name, and so on and so forth. And also this message broadcaster that is already had broadcast 2 messages. By the way, it will inform you if you make a world that doesn't exist. In this case it's word nether that doesn't exist, no message broadcast there. So you know if everything is been broadcasted alright. And so let's see how it performs if we type something. The first thing you notice is this plus here, and this whole chat is interactive. This whole is interactive, and it's fully up to you how you make it. We are using this example formatter here, which also supports these Unicode symbols. If you save your file in a UTF-8 encoding, which is really simple if you use Notepad++, you just go ahead and menu encoding and encode in UTF-8 without bomb. That's it. So you can see you can configure each part of the chat individually. In this case, this is the plus. It's sponsored, so it doesn't show up if we don't have this permission. Let me go ahead and demo myself real quickly. And now type now, and message is broadcasted to nobody. And since we also have enabled ranged chat, you will get a warning that there's nobody within your chat range to whom you might have seen a message. But okay, and here we go. You can use different variables here. In this scenario, I used numbers of variables from ChatControl and as well as placeholder API. This is fully supported. You just drag and drop it and install these extensions you would like to use. If you want to send a message, you just go ahead and click on this player title and it will automatically put a message, put this command to my chat box. And if I go ahead and say hi, it's gonna send him message immediately. This is also fully interactive, so you can see if I go ahead and click it, it will put a command to the server chat. This is another really cool feature. But okay, let's review some of the anti-spam features. So if I lose operator status and if I try to spam something, hey, it's gonna tell, okay, wait a little bit and do not repeat the same messages. And if I keep continuing, it's gonna give me some warning points. And if I decided to do some more, I'm gonna get kicked. This is, by the way, everything is configurable within your settings file. The section is named points. This whole settings file has more than 800 lines, so make sure to check it out and read also the commentaries here. And let me go ahead and find the right section. Yes, give players warning points. So you might specify, alright, if the player has 5, 12 and 25 points, what's gonna happen. So let me go back to the server and let me try to make a message. First, it says you cannot chat until you move, which is an anti-bot feature. So actually this works also for commands that you specify. And if you don't specify anything, you might execute the commands you don't specify to be blocked, or otherwise you might specify if it works like whitelist or blacklist. So I have to actually move to type messages. Hey. So, and alright, so if I try to place an ad, I'll go to some random server, it will block this as well. This is also working if you try to bypass it, like cool. You will still get the message blocked, and if you try to, you know, spam again, it will actually remember that you have spammed since, and it will kick you again, which is really cool. You might set it up so it will forget every 30 seconds. It will take it, and it's every 20 seconds it will get it will subtract 5 points from each set that you will configure. And if I try to swear something, hey fuck, it will replace the message and tell me that swearing is prohibited on this server. This is configurable in the rules folder. We have 7 rules for 6 aspects of the game: for signs, for packets, which means you might block any message from the plugin, from any other plugin or the server itself. Also for items on Anvil, chat itself, commands, and books. Finally, rules.txt file is the main file against which every rule except this packet rules is evaluated. So if you open up, you might see all these operators you might use to basically make unique custom rules. By default, we have IP filter, domain, URL filter, and also about 50 different swears which are blocked by default. So you really need you don't really need to waste time, because it's already here. If you have an English server, you might just as well benefit from it right from the start. I can also show you this logs folder, which is gonna log every violation. For example, advertisements. Yeah, this is me right now. The message that got blocked, it's here, and it also says like which handler, which rule and which handler is being blocked by. Also, it can log normal chat. By the way, don't worry, your comments like when you log in your passwords, it's not going to be here, because you can specify only which commands to be logged as well. And lastly, swear. Yeah, it's gonna say, okay, if there is any swear code, it can save it. I'm saying can because you might turn it off, you might set it up, okay, what is gonna save it and how exactly. So that would be rules. And handlers, as you might notice, this is basically operators from rule, because rules have like 20 operators. And imagine you have 50 rules, right? And you want to do the exactly same thing 50 times. So it would get really messy. That's why I decided to create handlers, in which you basically specify those actions and you give them a name. For example, advertisement, and those will be handled. And each rule, you just write one message that, for example, here handlers swear, as opposed to writing all these many operators under each rule, which is really cool as well. Lastly, variables. If you can a little bit of JavaScript, you might write down your own variables, which you might basically get anything you want, either from plugins or the server itself. By default, it will get the player's ping. The cool thing is you don't need to access the internals by specifying this prefix like 1, 10, air. This is handled within the plugin, or you just use inbuilt variable for that. Another thing, let's go ahead and have a look at the commands. So this is the main command /chc and /ca for a channel functionality. I'm not going to be showing this here because it's going to take a long time, and this video is about 9 minutes long already. So if you type chc, oops, yeah, basically this is, sorry guys, this is too sensitive for this video, so I have to tune it down a little bit. I just wanted to show you really quickly what it does. You might increase it. You might increase it at your will. So I'm gonna do some evil reload here, and let's go back and let's show different commands. I'm just gonna open myself really quickly. Yeah, you can also set up so you must wait each time you log in before you can run commands. This is to prevent some bots, having the feature of automatically logging in again and spamming. So you might find all the commands by typing /chc ? The first is muting the chat. If you mute the chat, any other player might not type because this chat is muted. And next thing is cleaning the chat. it's not, it has the ability of not clearing it if you are a staff or have the correct permissions, and for the other players it's just gonna wipe the entire chat. You might also specify some reason, spam, and make it anonymous, so it's not gonna tell, okay, Kangar cleared the chat, but only the game chat was cleared, and reason spam. Another thing is announcing, just shortcut A. Hey world, join PvP, is gonna say nice announcement, and also play sounds to players. You can also write to admin chat, which is only visible for those who have permissions. If I give myself operator status really quickly on the second account, I might see this message and I might also reply to it, registered, so that way you might communicate only secretly with your stuff. Also CHCGs for global chat. If you have a Bungie, this is you have to enable it within your settings.aml, and then you can communicate over all of your servers. Next thing is CHC fake, showing Herobrine, which is really cool because it can actually display those join messages as if some real person were to join the game, or just fake quit and it says Herobrine left the game, which is cool if you want to troll your players some, you know. And so let's go ahead to the next page. CHC add rule command. If you are having if you want really simple, if you want to add some rule really quickly, you might as well take advantage of this command. Let's say I want to add a rule that is swear, and I just type it into the chat right away. Let's say this is a swearing word in Slovak language. It's gonna give you a little help. Let's say no for this instance, and now it's blocked. Bank up. The chat is still muted, so you can see everything is working fine. Yes, and now it's blocked, and you can see bank. The rules has been edited, and the word has been added here. It says created using command at this time, at this point. So this is really convenient way how to add new rules, especially if you don't want to deal with the files itself. CHC ignore, it's something that you need to specify within your settings, and then you might set it up so, for example, adult players, you know, they can view your swearing words while normal guests might not. If you basically give the ability to players to decide if they want to see something, if they want to see some rules, for example, swearing, ads, or whatever. By the way, check out the documentation on GitHub for more information. Points, you might just view warning points of individual players for those kinds of points. And also, yeah, by the way, here, spy at economy, this is the name of this world, because I use multiverse. Multiverse is a multi-world plugin, and if I set up this world alias in a multiverse, it will actually be registered in a ChatControl, so you can see alias is economy and gold, so it will display here correctly, and this is spy function. So if you have range chat enabled, you might still see messages that are outside your chat range if you have correct permissions. Another thing is import commands, which allows you to import massive amounts of rules. If you have them in your file, for example, you just write banana, apple, etc. Another world, blah blah blah, and then you type, basically import the file name and the handler you want to assign those rules to. Each of those will be created automatically. In spec commands, this is for you who know how to code in JavaScript. You might use this to help you to get to know, okay, which classes you might use from the server or from some other plugin. And also calculator, which is just a fun aside feature that you might use to, you know, to do some math on a server. If you're bored, for example, or if for some random reason I just decided to include it and I never actually removed it. Next thing is reload command. is for reloading configuration. By the way, I personally don't recommend using it because it can lead to some trouble. For example, some parts of the plugin require you to reload the server. For example, if you have trouble with priorities, and I get this sometimes by users having different plugins on server that require listener priority changed, and if you change this, for example, then you have to restart the server each time. And also we have the documentation for that, so if you need help with that, please check it out. And lastly is the ChatControl list command, or also the known as the question mark command, which will display this section. And for the channels, there is a menu as well, but you have to enable chat channels in your settings. You might just go ahead and enable them really quickly. Channels are basically like chatting rooms for your different players. If you have too big server bank, it says okay, automatically join this channel. Now you can access the menu and says okay, your current channel is standard, and since I have operator status, it's automatically gonna give me spy. If you don't wish that, just give yourself negative permissions like ChatControl XYZ. Check it out Wikipedia, I don't exactly remember the permission. So if I'm gonna type hey, it's gonna be in this channel, and if I'm gonna leave standard, tab complete is completed, it's implemented as well. I no longer receive the message unless I subscribe to spying it. You're not spy, this is private. Now you might see the message still even if you are outside the channel, but since I have no channels, hey, you have no channel to write into, you have to join the channel in a write mode to be able to write. The channel still supports all these nice elements, by the way, so if you're wondering, you might still use it. And also reuse it, which is the best feature of this little chat.ami file, because you can use the formats everywhere, and you can use them again at your will. You can use them again in different channels, for example in ranged and standard channel, and so on and so forth. That would be it. Thank you very much for watching. Damn, already 17 minutes. That's a long time. Thank you for spending your time and energy. If you're wondering what's the biggest difference between the free version and the premium version, it is budget code support. The plugin fully supports the warn and point system, private messages, interactive chat and JSON system, also conditions to join and quit and death messages, and also to some extent to this automatic message broadcaster. We have rules for books and items. Anti-bot and anti-spam have been massively improved as well. Party chat, if you are running Tovni or factions, you might take advantage of this. Chat channels have been added, and also support for infinite placeholders via JavaScript or a placeholder API, for example. Also creating rules in game. It supports JavaScript code, and it has some API for developers, and lastly you can integrate it to your MySQL database to store data after your server has been reloaded. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for your interest. I hope I presented this plugin really shortly, and more features are covered. Make sure to check down the description here on this overview page if you are browsing from here, if you are browsing for YouTube. Thank you very much, and see you on the flip side. Peace.